Good afternoon. Last week we covered putting together a quilt sandwich to quilt your small quilt tops, and I guided you through how to prepare it for quilting on your home machine. When I quilt, I normally do just a free motion meandering type quilting. There's another style of quilting that I don't normally do, and it would be stitch in the ditch or straight lines. And you would need to use a walking foot for that, which I don't normally do. So if you're looking for that kind of instruction, you can look up other designers who do that. I'm going to show you the free motion quilting. First off, you use what is called a open-toed darning foot. This is the one that I like to do. I'll put that on my machine. And then I've chosen some thread that I think is going to blend in well with my quilt top. And it depends on how much you want to see your quilting stitches as to what kind of thread you pick, what color. Then you do what is called dropping your feed dogs. I've already got mine dropped because I had done a quilt, but you can kind of see that they're down inside the, underneath the throat plate. If you don't have the ability to drop your feed dogs, your machine might have come with a throat plate that covers up the feed dogs. Either way, you don't want the feed dogs running when you do free motion because you are handling moving the quilt yourself along with the amount of pressure you put on the foot pedal. So when you do the other type of machine quilting with the straight line or the in the ditch and the walking foot, you do have your feed dogs up because you want the fabric fed at a even speed. So now what you do to get ready to go is you put your quilt top underneath your machine, and the best thing to do is to start in the middle. So you find a middle portion to start, and then you put your needle down because you want to get the thread up to the top. So I hold on to my top thread and I tap my foot pedal so that the needle goes up, and what it has done is it has brought the bobbin thread up, and so then I pull that up so I have both threads on the top, and then I put my needle back down where it came up. So I'm ready to get going. And what I do is I use these gloves. They're gloves that help me grip the top of the quilt. They're called machinigers, and there's all kinds of different brands on the market. But these are the ones that I like to use because you want to hold your quilt top kind of tight. And I'll move the camera up a little bit. And then you just kind of spread it tight so it's a little bit, but you don't want to stretch the fabric. And then you start. You do a few locking stitches so you're not moving the quilt top, and then you can take off. And now I'm doing a free motion meandering, so I'm just going to go and meander around. And before I get too far, I'm going to take the two pieces of thread that I pulled up to the top, and I'm going to snip those off so I don't run over them in future quilting. So here we keep going. And I can make some loops, and then I'm going to make a star. And I'm going to continue on. And I'm trying to move my quilt top with an even amount of speed as my machine is going so that my stitches stay even. And that's how I do free motion quilting. Now, what I want to do when I want to stop, I try to do as much as possible without ending my stitch and restarting. But if I get to a part where I have to stop, you just repeat the first step over again. What you would do first is you would snip the threads on the top and then on the bottom from ending the stitch. And then you would go to the next place where you're going to start quilting. And then you do the first step again where you put the needle in and then draw the bobbin thread out and get them both on top. And then you just start off again. So that is a little brief tutorial on free motion quilting. I hope that you learned something from that and the rest of my blog post. Thanks. Have a nice day.